But see, that's why I was asking if you can do all that shit in one combo. Because
Yeah.
if you can do
It needs to
multiple
be
things,
shorter,
then yeah,
because the heat dashes and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the stages are larger because of that, probably, right? Like you
Mhm.
can use multiple of these mechanics for your combo, which I don't know if I like it that much or dislike it, whatever. It's gonna be interesting. It's the most interesting thing to me about this whole thing is comparing Street Fighter 6 to Tekken 8, because in Street Fighter 6 everything is drive this, drive that, and Tekken is all heat this, heat that.
Yep.
So, and they both
Very
have it available at the
confusing.
start of the round. Yeah. And yeah, they're both very confusing because you end up saying, like, is that your drive what now? Your drive,
See,
is that
I
the drive
was
impact or the
dude,
drive
Dude,
rush? What?
I called the heat dash in this game drive rush so many times already.
Of course. Yeah.
Bro,
That's the heat rush, dude.
Yeah,
I was listening to Rip trying to explain a situation earlier, and I was laughing my ass off. All he kept saying was heat something, heat,
Of
heat
course.
this, heat this, heat that, and I'm just hearing it, and I'm like, I was trying to process everything you were saying, but it sounded foreign.
I agree.
Because that's how it is.
Like,
It's foreign to us right now.
I'm streaming whatever, I'm talking whatever shit. Mike's in the chat, and I'm calling the heat things wrong, and Mike's like, "Come on, bro!" I'm like, "Motherfucker, it's confusing. There's like a billion things to look at here." It's like we haven't even played this shit. Like, come on.
He's talking shit. He's still calling it drive rush or whatever.
I know.
Drive rush. Yeah, I'm definitely.
We all fuck it up, man, because it's so hard. Like, I'm calling everything drive. I'm gonna be calling everything drive up for this year because it's Street Fighter 6 year, right? So everything's gonna be a drive until I play Tekken 8.
Dude,
That's how it's gonna be.
I hella been accidentally calling that shit drive this, drive that. It's just like the mechanics are like somewhat similar too, right? It's like, do a low forward into drive rush, cancel the recovery of the move to get advantage. This game, it has heat dash, death this heat dash, kind of like same idea.
Yeah.
So
drive engage.
Drive engage as well, which is different. Yeah, there's like so many different things. And then the fact that they're like also like similar naming convention as well. It's just like Street Fighter's all drive, Tekken's all heat, and then they all have rush, dash, smash. It's just like it gets confusing.
Hella confusing. Yeah,
it does. But
I feel like for like new players, they want this to be the thing that helps new players, right? Like I went back and I was watching their finals video where they described all the mechanics of heat again, and in that video they're talking about how they want all these different heat engagers to be like what you would see on an arcade cabinet. Like these are 5 moves. Like back in the day when you went to like playing the arcade, you'd see like Tekken 3 because like Forest Law, these are 5 moves. So now they want these 5 heat engagers to be like those moves. So when you're a new player, you're like, what are those 5 moves? Boom, now I got some core moves to use and it's gonna look cool. I can do fancy looking stuff, right? But at the highest level of the game, you're gonna need to optimize all of this shit to really separate yourself, right, from the other top players. But I think that the gap between the new player and the top player is gonna grow because of this. Because I think that for a new player to learn all this shit and absorb it, it's going to be very difficult. Yeah. So it's like, on one hand, it makes it easier for them to access the game. Yeah. But in like online play, you're going to get fucked up by people who know what they're doing, I think.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. I like that a little bit.
But at least there'll be
that's Tekken and Street Fighter and Street Fighter 6. I think
at least there'll be like flashy stuff happening in both games. In Street Fighter, you have like your drive impact with all this fucking paint and shit coming out all over the place, and then in this game you have your R1 button which does like the heat burst. Press it again when you have heat, and then you does heat smash, and like the rainbow comes out, and like you do like an EX.
I have no idea what Mike's talking about. See, but see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's described everything correct. I think. I'm assuming. I have no idea.
Yeah, it is definitely confusing, but well,
I'm just mad that you brought up the heat button being one button now.
We lose the bind. Like, we kind of talked about that last time too, but then it's like that does change up a lot if they don't fix the 1+2 situation.
Yes, they have to fix that now. Yeah,
just playing tag 2 and then hitting tag when I want to do 1+2 is the saddest. It's the saddest shit ever, man.
I mean,
I'm like,
I have 2 binds.
Tag out.
I definitely bind 1+2 and 3+4.
3+4. Yep.
I have for the entire history of Tekken 7 used the Rage Art button, right? And that button now is not the same button. That's your drive button now, not the Rage Art button now. So every time I'm going to want to Rage Art, I'm going to hit drive instead now. I'm going to have to relearn the whole thing that they've taught. And that's just not me. That's like the default button layout. So that's the majority of people who use default button layout in Tekken 7. Your Rage Art button will move now.
Yeah, Rage Art, at least you have the unified command if you want to do it manually, down for 1+2. But
what does that mean?
Tekken 8 is a 5-button game minimum because we have to have that R1 heat burst, so it's just, they haven't said that there's a manual command for that move or like so you have to play
universal command either, right? Yeah. It's a 5-button game.
It's a 5-button game.
Interesting.
gross.
I have to learn how to play without button binds.
Oh, that's that dude. You know,
And they need to learn to make a game that doesn't require button binds. I think that's the bigger thing, dude.
Because the 1+2,
it drives me crazy.
In Tekken, like the double button inputs in Tekken 7, I even have like footage of me doing forward 2-1 with Steve in practice mode, and it like registers as 1+2 together. Sometimes I'm just tech rolling, and then I have a 1+2 character, and it stores my inputs, and it does give me a rage art after tech roll. I'm just like,
same.
There's like so many weird things happening with these inputs.
A lot of input things need to be cleaned up in their game.
I've had this issue since Tekken 6. So
really?
With rage arts in Tekken 6?
No, not rage arts. It's just double button inputs in general.
Really?
Tekken 6. Yeah, I've had that. It's Ganryu specifically because he has so many 1+2s and 3+4 buttons. So it's like if you fuck things up and you get down 1, 2 in Tekken 6 was annoying as hell because that's a death punch when I'm trying to do down 1+2.
Yeah.
So you know things like that.
I didn't notice it, but even if that's the case, now's the time to fix it. Please fix it. I think that's the bigger thing here, right? Because double button inputs are so important in this game. In so many different ways, and not just double button inputs. Like Law's freaking what is it? Forward, 3+4 to grab.
Yep, you
bring dude, that shit kills me, man. Come on, dude. I'm hitting both goddamn buttons, even when I use the button bind. Forward, 3+4 turns into forward, 3. Come on.
I thought that shit was the funniest shit when they fixed it for Lee, and they didn't fix it.
They did fix it for Law. Come on.
That was just a sign, man. It's just like, hey, man, you want that move? Go play. And the funny thing too is at least 4-4-3 is so much better than Laws anyway.
So much. It's not Laws punishable. Laws is like, fix Laws.
I just love that. It's just, fuck you.
Dude, I remember seeing that patch note, and I was just like, oh really? They finally fixed that for Lee. I wonder if they fixed it for Law. Nope.
Same thing went through my head.
Oh, that's funny.
Times.
Yeah, it's just like how Tekken, like the system registers inputs and stuff. Like that case specifically, 4-4-3+4 throw with Law. Yeah, like he still only has a forward stored in there, but for some reason, after holding it for like somewhat, like after a certain frame, it's like, oh, you held that forward for too long. It's going to turn into a 4-4-3 now. But they fixed that for Lee. Now they fixed that for Lee, and it actually gives him the 4-4-3+4 throw. But for Law, he gets a launch punishable dragon cannon. At least it's a power crush, but
I mean that's the worst part actually, because they made a power crush. Now he's got all these white sparkles. People are like, oh, I can launch that. Before it would just come out. Like whatever.
It's just all bad for Law. It's just more reasons. Oh, another thing that now that we said power crush, that kind of made me think about this shit. What do you guys think about this? This is because this is definitely Kazuya's forward 1+2.
What are you talking about?
This move.
Oh.
This move
from off the sidestep.
That's sidestep 1, right?
That looks like sidestep 1 to me.
Sidestep 1, yeah.
Is
he sidestep. He moves.
Yeah, he moves. I think it looks like a sidestep attack to me.
Yeah. Look at it. Look at the feet.
As soon as I saw it, I thought
I saw the
attack.
feet. Watch right there. See?
Go before it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still do forward 1+2 after a sidestep, but
but it seems more
forward 1+2.
Right there. See? It's sidestep.
I've obviously, but
I understand what what's the point of the move that you wanted to talk about?
The point is, if this is forward 1+2, this is currently a wall bounce, and then the thing doesn't wall bounce anymore. They do like a Dragon Ball slide away now, and I'm thinking, what if it's attached to the wall itself? Now because we saw the wall explosion with the King's example from the second trailer. How like King does
into it and explodes.
4-2-1 wall explosion, and it kind of does like the wall bounce in. It's practically works the same as wall bounce right now. But like, what if they got rid of wall bounce and then just reworked it for the wall to be an actual explosion for you to get the bounce?
I'd probably think that that's what they did. I don't think that there is a wall bounce anymore.
Yeah. I all I see is sidestep 1. That's all.
I think it's weird for it to get a sidestep 1 move, but okay,
it is
maybe. Yeah,
because then he can't sidestep jab. Can you imagine that? Because you can't sidestep jab anymore.
You can still do sidestep forward 1. So yeah.
Or maybe it's out of his like misstep 1.
Ew, giving him misstep moves, like actual misstep moves. I don't.
Why does he have it? He only had. Well, you want a 13? Oh, what? It only exists for 13 frame electrics, and that's it.
Yeah. And I think there's some
I like that idea, Ricky.
It's just weird that misstep exists for that character, and it's always existed, and it's just And the fact that the direction he steps is just dependent on what frame you decided to press forward on.
I heard it's like odd or even. Like odd is one way, or even's the other way. I'm just like, hell, like why does it exist like that, dude? But then I guess that was the only way to like sidestep in those previous games, right? Like Tekken 2 and stuff, because there was no actual sidestep in the game. Kazuya was the only one with misstep. So I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah. Dude, could you imagine if that's how they implemented sidesteps in Tekken? You need an odd tap forward
frame
to sidestep left. Oh my god, that'd be crazy.
Damn, he got an even frame. He's dead.
Gotta kill the frames. Gotta kill the frames.
He stepped the wrong way, bro. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't think we have any other news. Was there? Like,
can I ask you guys a question then?
Yeah.